Hi, listeners. It's your favorite co-host again, Calvin Cato, but using Ala Patel's voice. I wanted to remind you about our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Playable Podcast. Go check it out. As always, we are also on Twitter and Instagram at Playable Podcast. And thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
Hey, creepy weirdo.
I would like a strong, powerful woman to protect me.
He'll fight for America.
Yep. Poopy square. The Playable Characters Podcast. Hey, everybody. This is the Playable Characters Podcast.
PCP.
Coming at ya
Do not woo into the mic.
for the 2018.
You're causing a spike.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get into the...
You're
get
amped.
into
You're
Yeah.
amped.
I'm
I
amped
know.
for this
I know
guest
you're
today.
fucking amped.
You guys
Trying
got
to-
PCP?
Whoa, he's already gone. I'm just
Oh,
getting...
I heard
just kidding.
PCP.
I just-
no, it's
if
an
this is that
acronym
kind of
for-
podcast. I'm up for that.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's the name of our show, sir. We're going to get to you in a second. Oh, my God. This is, first of all, everybody else, thank you so much for listening. Like us, subscribe, rate, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, all that fun stuff.
Yes.
The show's growing every week, and we love it. Shout out to the nonproductive.com people.
Yes.
That's one of the networks we're on. The network we're on. Nonproductive.com.
Thank you very much, Frank Hablawi.
Thank Hablawi.
That's how you pronounce it, Hablawi? You asked him.
Sure.
I think it is now. So,
Frank Hablamo.
now this, okay, let's just get into it since he's already coming in hot on the mic. He's ready to drop some fat rhymes.
Oh, goodness.
Hell
this is getting
yeah.
real white.
Okay, quick backstory. I
Backstory.
guess.
Let's give a
Yes.
backstory.
So this guy we have on the show today is, I mean, not a legend, but like his commercial was huge.
Well, let's go with legend.
Legend.
Should we play the commercial real
Yes.
quick?
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
do it.
Let's
Give
just play it
us-
real quick right now.
Okay.
Okay, so that was him
Yes.
in the commercial.
Amazing.
So good. He's one of the kids from the rapping Zelda Nintendo commercial.
I mean, you are the rapping kid.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah,
rapping
yeah.
kid. So welcome. What's your name, first of all? Like,
My name is DJ Playa 1.
did you,
Oh,
that's
I
cool.
like it.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
right. It was between that and Nasty Nestor.
Nice.
And,
That's
'cause
pretty
you
good.
see, yeah.
I like
and,
Nasty Nestor, personally.
All right. And we can take this again, and I'll say Nasty Nestor.
No, I mean, rappers usually have multiple names.
That's
so
true.
You
That's
can
right.
be
That's
both.
right.
Old Dirty Bastard.
Puffy
Well-
has Puffy P. Diddy. But
Well,
I
yeah,
like DJ Player
yeah,
One
but-
because, you were young back then.
Yes,
you know,
that's
you're-
right.
Old
and-
Dirty literally has like 15 completely different names. Like,
Well, I was
Oh, yeah.
originally Old Dirty.
were you?
actually. That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Even as an 8-year-old.
Old Dirty Metroid, actually, was how
Nice.
Old
Yeah.
Dirty Metroid,
Yes.
a.k.a. Nasty Nestor,
Yeah,
AKA
DJ Playa 1.
I like DJ
Any other
Playa 1.
AKAs?
Well, my real name is Wellington Flug. Because, I'm gangsta like that.
Wellington Flood.
What
That's
is-
right.
What is Flug? What
It's
background?
Dutch. I think.
Yeah, let's go with Dutch.
Sounds
Sure.
Dutch. Oh, let's go
Are you
with
the
doing
heir
a-
of the Flug family fortune?
Yes, actually. Flug is actually, the background is Dutch and gangsta. So
That's
right.
actual race.
You know, the Flug family is...
I did some 23andMe research,
Yeah.
and turns out that I am the direct descendant of Suge Knight. So
No.
yeah,
Whoa.
that's right.
You're the descendant of
Descendant
Suge
in
Knight.
terms of when he was hanging that guy out the window, I was the thing that fell. So
Oh, so you descended.
I got it.
That was a good one, though. That was a good one.
Now, is it Flug or Flug?
Flug.
It's just Flug.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Literally
right.
the way he said
Flug.
it.
I was gonna
Yes.
say I looked him up. His family, your ancestors, they invented the flugelhorn, so that's where Flug.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yes, and you know the Ricola commercials? Yeah,
Yes.
that's my family too. I'm all over the music business.
You are. Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
Great
That's
song.
right. Nintendo commercials, Ricola commercials. I'm down with all that shit.
Now, is
So
it?
you got started in rap at a very young age.
That's
what
right.
drew you to it?
Yeah.
Well,
This
yeah,
was what, 87?
Yeah.
it was the very early days of rap, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am a pioneer. I was a member of the original Sugar Hill Gang.
Wow.
Yeah,
As,
that's
a,
right.
as
Yeah.
a wee lad.
Yes,
as a little
that's right.
white 8-year-old, you were part of the Sugar Hill Gang.
I mean,
Yes.
you might have been the first white rapper and the first child rapper.
I am a trendsetter.
He
It's what I
knocked all
do.
those- he checked
and
off all those boxes.
the important thing to remember is, guys, I am a real rapper. I want to emphasize real rapper. I've got
No,
the membership
yeah.
card and everything.
Move over,
Wait,
Aaron
is there a
Carter.
union?
Yeah.
of
Do they
the
give
rap-
Yes, there is. Yes, Association of Professional Rappers, APR.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's when you buy a car also, APR finance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, that's what we do on the side. It's our
you sell cars.
rap union, and we sell financing for cars.
Finance
And,
cars.
Or
yeah,
hoopties,
and if you can't
as we
pay us
call it
back,
then.
then you got to fight the get. And that's also a real
Yes.
term, by the way. That's a real rap term that I've
sure
heard. Because
is.
again, I am a real
You
rapper.
are the realest. I
That's
think.
right.
You're
I
a
mean,
real G. As
That's
they
right.
would
So
say.
you wrote those lyrics for Nintendo? You did that for the Zelda game?
Yes.
You
Oh,
did
yeah.
that?
That wasn't a
I,
freestyle. That was just.
No.
It seemed like a whole freestyle. I wasn't sure if it was
Freestyle, sure. If you don't want to count, the 2 months I put in to coming out with
2
that
months for
verse.
that.
That's
It's-
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Intense.
Yeah. These verses don't just drop by themselves.
Yeah.
It takes a while to pull that kind of genius.
Yeah, totally.
And and the thing is too, I should mention that not just a trendsetter in terms of being a member of the Sugar Hill Gang as a white 8-year-old boy, also a trendsetter in that our commercial, which you just played, is also the first commercial in history to have a parental advisory sticker attached to it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know if
PMRC, pissed off at us. That's
I
right.
don't know if it was that violent, was it?
No, it's not violent because you remember Octorok's Tech Tights Levers too,
Yeah.
which is a rhyme because again, real rapper.
Yeah.
Is that a derogatory term?
Octorok, when Tipper Gore heard that, she assumed that we were talking hentai porn.
Really?
Yeah. And in
That's a
Japan,
large
actually,
stretch.
the Japanese translation of Octorok is tentacle up the, So yeah,
I don't know. What is
yeah.
do you know is the anus?
If you want
Whatever.
to make it dirty, sure. You want to go blue olive,
Okay,
that's
sorry.
fine. We can go blue.
Wow. This is. I mean. So what do you? I mean. Okay.
So how did you
Late
get hooked-
'80s, 8-year-old rapping. I mean, it was you. It was Chuck D, KRS-One,
That's right.
and Wellington Flug. Look
Yes.
at that.
Yes.
Slug. Sorry.
And the rest of the Sugar Hill Gang. I didn't hear any verses on that Sugar Hill Gang song by you.
Well,
that song. Their one song.
yeah,
Their
they
famous
did
hit,
cut me out of the final product because they wanted to keep it to 20 minutes and. They didn't want me to show them up, because when you have an 8-year-old kid on stage rapping, I should say, the pants off the Sugar Hill Gang.
Really?
Well,
Really?
yeah. I mean, geez, that's what when we were out at the Apollo, for instance,
Yeah.
the crowd demanded the Sugar Hill Gang take their pants off in deference to me.
Wow, you're at the Apollo. Did you remember to rub the stump?
I'll thank
Oh,
you to leave
well.
my private life out of this, Calvin. I prepare for my shows my way. You prepare for your shows your way.
Is that a
That's-
thing that happens at the Apollo? The crowd wants people to take their pants off in,
and rub the stump? Actually,
Yeah.
Rub the stump.
It's a lot. It's a whole process.
You might have been the youngest white person to ever perform at the Apollo as well.
Ever be in the Apollo.
So many.
Yes, and this was during the late 70s, right? When
All the race riots. and
yeah,
stuff.
when Harlem was much
yeah.
different than it is now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I again don't want to toot my own horn, but I
for it.
was the one credited by Mayor Ed Koch with helping build a bridge between the white and black
Wow.
communities back there.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
So it's
I
little-
pulled out the Zelda rap and immediately racial peace was declared.
Just
Wow.
like that.
Yeah, they were done.
Wow.
That's right. The Bronx was burning until I said, with your help, our hero pulls through. And they were like, I didn't know our hero would pull through.
Look at
And
that.
they called the fire department and they put it out.
So they waited until your rap was done.
That's
They
right.
know they
To
know what
call.
to do.
That's
So,
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're a real inspiration to us all.
I am.
Really
and I
proud
thank you
of
for noticing. Yes, that's right.
very good.
Not just a real rapper, but a real inspiration.
Yeah.
And also the inspiration behind the Chicago song "You're the Inspiration" by Peter Cetera.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you branch out. You rap.
Right,
you
right.
do
Oh
rock
yeah,
rock.
yeah.
Very-
Any
very
room I
conf-
go into, they write hits that go to number one immediately. That
Any other hits that are written
Very
about
confident.
I would say "I Will Always Love You"
Right.
is again
That's about you?
me.
Really? Who? What? How so? Whitney Houston had a. Wait, did you and Whitney have a thing?
you? I think she might have had a crush on him, maybe.
Yeah, when you share the same supplier, sometimes
Oh,
that
gee.
we have a way of connecting you.
Yeah,
So yeah.
interesting.
You are pretty skinny, so I am
Yes.
concerned. Yeah.
Well,
Lots of coke.
God, we're going into that already.
Oh, no, I
geez.
was just doing
No, we
comment.
don't have to talk
You
about
brought
that.
it up. I
if you
mean, I just.
Yeah.
wanted-
Well,
I
we
mean-
kind of have to talk.
Well,
about
what is
it.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
supplying what?
Did you
Yeah.
say you had PCP earlier? Because yeah.
Oh no, the
I-
podcast is PCP.
oh, geez. Okay.
The coke is for the after party
Back to
Yeah.
Sugar Hill
in the
Gang.
hotel lobby.
yeah.
Um,
White
yeah.
Lines, was that about you too?
White Lines. One of the White Lines was about me.
Okay,
actually,
yeah, that makes sense.
What was the other one? Tina
William
Marie?
Shatner.
Oh.
They were just looking for any white celebrities to write about, and I suggested,
Right.
Bill and I go way
Understood.
back. So
Understood.
Bill and you go way back.
yeah, that's
Bill
right.
Shatner.
He originally had a verse in the Zelda rap, but
Oh,
yeah.
Had that, do you remember the words to that one?
I
How it
don't.
went?
Again, it was more him repeating the same lines, but in that Bill Shatner tone of voice,
Right.
and over dramatic. Like we auditioned at the same time, and he was all Zelda, 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 Octoroks, Hectites, Levers 2. So
Yeah, he doesn't
again,
have-
it doesn't quite
He doesn't
fit
have the
in.
cadence for
Doesn't
Yeah.
flow.
hip hop.
Yeah.
So the story about my descent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that-
first let's talk about you. How did you end up getting hooked up with Nintendo in the first place?
Oh, he went to the audition they were holding.
Did
For
they see you at like
Right.
a
Yeah,
battle rap
it
or
was,
something?
was there a lot
yeah.
of rappers there and you?
Well, it was
And
Bill.
you.
I mean, like, you didn't fit the usual criteria of a late 80s rapper.
What would you consider the usual criteria of a late 80s
very,
rapper?
very black and angry. A lot of them.
Wow, if you want to spread that kind of racism,
I'm just
around,
saying, hey,
that's,
I'm an old
honestly,
school hip hop fan. I know, but I'm shocked I didn't know about you. I wish I did.
why would
Over
you
the age of
pigeonhole,
16, usually.
What's that?
an art form like rap into that?
But
you
were
know,
you an angry child though?
I wasn't angry until, the story about that, I didn't get angry actually until maybe about 25, 26 years old. This is after
Yeah.
the Zelda rap, because after the Zelda rap hit, it was the biggest thing in the country, as you remember. And Nintendo tried to take advantage of that. And they said, hey, we're going to sign you up. Why don't you write the theme song for this brand new cartoon we're doing called the Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Which, again, I don't know if you know
Dun,
that.
dun.
Written by me. And you don't know that, actually, because they took my name off the credits as soon as I gave them what I had written.
This is the Do
song
the
I'd
Mario
written.
song?
Well, hey,
Yeah.
hey, listen. Kind of topical, according to that. Nicole Eggert is the first guest on the first episode of that show.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
it's on Netflix. Check it out.
That is really weird.
It is very weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say: if you don't know now, you know.
You know who
Did
the
you-
second guest was on that show?
Who?
Nelson Mandela.
Really?
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. He was on there.
It's a real drop off after Nicole Eggert.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
tops.
He was on there playing Kid Icarus. Actually.
Was it from
But,
from prison?
he-
He was
he-
doing this.
From prison, yes. They
Wow.
brought a camera into the Johannesburg State Pen, as it were, which I actually was the hookup there because I'm down with my gangsters.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Word.
Yeah,
Word.
they used my street connections to get the camera into the Johannesburg State Pen.
I'm
It's a
digging
state,
with
it's
it.
a state
Yeah,
penitentiary. Okay.
and it's true story. Nelson chose to play Kid Icarus because he would only appear on camera if they could show off the guns.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because 30 years in prison, you got that much time to work
Yes.
out, and he wanted to
That's
show it
true.
off.
Look at Idris Elba, right?
I know it's true.
Yeah,
Was he in prison?
No, he played
with
Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sorry.
Did Idris Elba end apartheid? Is that?
Basically.
Oh, I assumed you did when you had Nelson
Well,
Mandela.
yes. I mean that goes without saying. Thank
Yeah.
you
Did you
for
have a
that.
song that maybe helped end apartheid
Well,
or something?
actually,
Dear
so
Mama?
so that brings us back to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah,
theme
oh, yeah,
song,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
which I had written dedicated to the people of South Africa, hoping to get them to rise up. And I think
Swing
you would understand. I'm going to quote my original lyrics here for
Okay.
it, if you don't mind. You remember
I think
the
I
way it
remember.
started.
If I can sing it with you. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah. We're the Mario Brothers and plumbing's our
I
game.
don't remember.
We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others. You'll be hooked on the brothers and the chronic.
And the Chronic.
So yeah. So
I don't remember that
was,
part of the song.
No, again, that was the song that I gave to Nintendo.
Oh.
And they said, we're fine with 99% of
Right,
that,
almost.
but you got to take off the last 3 words. And I'm like, I am an artist.
Yeah.
And a real rapper. I have a card.
Yes.
APR. So you don't want me to call the union to
No.
cross the picket line in front of
Right.
the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't budge. So they took my name off the project.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they took the other lyrics.
Yeah. And apartheid continued for another 10 years after that.
Oh shit.
That's-
It all
And-
lines up
Yeah.
perfectly. I think he's
Yeah.
telling the truth.
So
I mean,
if you're
I believe
looking
him.
It
for
all
the
matches.
reason why
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
apartheid didn't end in 1992, blame Nintendo.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
wow.
Yeah.
Mandela had to stay in prison for longer than all that
Yes,
stuff.
that's right. Yeah, because he would have been released that very
But,
day.
he probably mastered Kid Icarus by then. It's a hard game.
Oh, yeah,
10
that's
years
true.
of playing that, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
So,
probably-
so
great
what-
soundtrack in Kid Icarus, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's really great.
what ended up happening was then I had to drop my first ever diss track on Nintendo shortly after.
Oh,
this.
what was that?
Well, that one, again, if you'll allow me to quote, you
Of course.
are of course going to remember as soon as I launch into it. It was called Fuckwit Sega Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Because, you know,
remember that.
if I'm going to diss, I'm going to diss all the way.
Yeah.
And so just a quick sample, all the way, as all the rappers say, which, you know, I am a real rapper. Is what-
Right.
Yeah, we heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Quick sample. You'll remember this when it dropped back in, I
What?
think it was 94.
Yeah. Let's see.
Mr. Paisan, where the fuck you at? Got your raccoon tail on, flying away from my gat. Big bullet bill trying to fly down your throat, but it's getting crowded in there because your game blows goats.
Whoa, I remember that.
I got Princess in the living room getting it on, and she ain't leaving till 6 in the morning.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, they couldn't handle it.
Calvin spilled his water.
I
He
know,
was so
come on,
excited
Calvin.
for that.
You're making him
not just
go
Calvin.
into convulsions
the
laughing
nation
here.
spilled its water collectively.
Yes.
America spilled its water after
Yeah.
it heard that.
That's
Do
incredible.
you mean piss their pants? Is that what we were saying here?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what,
okay.
what
Well,
it
he's a
means.
polite. Yeah, you hardly curse ever. Except
Well,
in your raps.
Yeah, but that was, you know, the gangster rap era, so they expect you to curse a little bit. That was, you know, back when I had to release my gangsta album, Fear of a Boy on a Blob's Planet.
Did you do any collabos back then with the you know the legends of hip hop? Is
Yeah.
that late '80s crew,
Well,
De La Soul or KRS?
Or
would-
MC Scat Cat.
First thing I would... MC Scat Cat, don't get me started with that. Talk
Yeah.
about
Ooh,
that.
No, let's talk about
Jesus.
MC Scat Cat then.
Well,
definitely.
and the MC Scat Cat story, just as a quick thing, is that, you know, shortly after the Zelda rap hit, you know, was right around the time when Opposites Attract also went to the top of the charts.
yeah.
So we were at the same parties. And
Okay.
so, you know, that's, as I said, when I started getting my addiction on, let's say. And so you remember the Power Glove when that was a thing?
Oh,
That
yeah.
was right around the same time
Yeah,
Nintendo invented
terrible.
the Power Glove. So as a gift to all of us who, you know, spread the word of Nintendo into the hip hop community.
Sure.
Nintendo.
Want to cross over there?
Yeah, Nintendo invented the Power Strippers tits just for us to do coke off of.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
And Scat Cat, man, oh jeez.
You couldn't get enough, huh?
Yeah. You talk about coke laced with catnip. That was his thing.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Damn.
So now what happened? What happened? Would you guys have feuds or rap battles with each other? Like I would imagine.
I would say more hairball battles with
Okay.
him. It got really ugly.
Really?
Yeah. It's probably
sorry.
best not to go deep into that, but yeah.
Do you still talk to your rapping partner?
From the commercial, you
From the
mean?
commercial,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh,
that
God.
guy didn't really rap. He kind of just played the game, right?
Yeah.
You just rapidly push buttons in Zelda, which you know,
His
that's
his
totally
job
what you do.
was at the end to tell us that your parents put it together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was his line, and he got a big head out of that. And it got to the point where that became a nationwide catchphrase, as you remember. That
Your
all over
parents
the
helped you
country.
put it together.
Yeah, your parents helped you put it together. It was on T-shirts all over the place. That was,
Well, there's some dumb kid. What do I do with this now?
and it would have been.
Although it's always funny because my parents never put it together for me. I had to do it all myself.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, parents don't know how to put together Nintendos. It's,
Yeah.
That was actually my contribution to the B side of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince was parents don't know how to put it together.
Yes. I remember that. That was
Yeah.
like a remix.
Yeah.
of
Again,
it.
cut out because they don't want to be, you know, shown up.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
it's my genius. That's also why Kanye never makes a record with me, and why I had to release The Extra Life of Pablo on my own. So
What? Jeez. He does it all. I mean, he's done everything. There.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
All
So how do you
over.
feel about the state of white rappers today? Because, you know, there's so many now.
Well-
I know the first was Eminem.
yes,
How do
and
you
the
feel
thing
about him?
about M and I, M stole a lot of my backstory.
Really?
Yeah, because 8 Mile, a whole ton of that was how I started out in the rap game.
in the battle rap
Yeah.
community. Yeah.
Yes, in the battle rap community. This was, I think, before my Apollo days, so I must have been like 6 or 7. And I'll never forget, my first rap battle was with Sidney Poitier. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about a legend, right?
said it
So-
right.
It's,
yeah, but they figure, you know, you got to go up against the best. It's like when you're in prison. They say you go up against the big dog. You punch him in the mouth, and you get the respect of everybody.
Have you been- have you
and
been-
that's actually what I did. My first rap battle, just walked up, punched Sidney Poitier right
Oh,
in the
my
mouth.
punched
goodness.
him.
Wow.
Yeah, and said, "How do you like that, Mr. Tibbs?" And that was the beginning of my legend. And
Wow.
yeah.
you been to
So,
pri-
but
have you been
getting
to
back to how
prison?
M stole my rap.
Yeah,
my
no, please.
story.
Yeah.
So, you remember, of course, 8 Mile,
Yes.
and it's commemorated in his song "Lose Yourself."
Spaghetti, yeah.
He'd thrown
Mom
up all over
spaghetti,
himself,
yeah.
"Mom spaghetti."
Yep.
So that was my technique. That was my technique.
Really?
Because
Wait, you would
yeah,
throw up before every.
Yes, not just throw up during. The thing is,
Was
you
it her
throw up your
spaghetti?
spaghetti and you just keep throwing up over and over again, and eventually no one wants to be on stage with you.
Wait, so-
you win by forfeit every time.
Wow.
Are you rapping and then throwing up, or are you just throwing up?
Are you sure you weren't just
most-
eating
You
at a
throw up
stomach
enough and
virus?
nobody notices.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sure you weren't just eating at a stomach virus? Like, what's happening?
I think that's why he's so thin. He's probably bulimic.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
also
there
think
we
there
go. Now
may
we're
be,
getting to it.
I don't want to say, but there may be some drugs involved.
Yeah, he was a little too excited
you
for the
know,
PCP.
Unfortunately, this is as long as we're coming clean. I do have to admit, I am PCP intolerant. So yeah.
it's
Were you
funny.
like one of those child drug users, like Drew Barrymore
Like
or
Corey
something?
Haim?
Drew Barrymore stole that shit from me. Again, I
So
was
she
setting
saw
the
you
trend.
using drugs,
Yes.
and she's like, "I got to get on
Yes,
that."
up until that point, yeah, she was just Reese's Pieces the whole time from the E.T. movie. But I was like, Drew, I can hook you up with some harder shit than that.
Wow.
Peanut butter M&Ms. And,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's just a rap game, It kind of sucks them in, and
Mhm.
that's what it does to these young
Yeah,
kids.
it's even more drawn out and painful than Monopoly rap.
Yeah.
It's the worst kind of game.
Do you still talk to the Sugar Hill Gang at all? Like,
Gosh, sometimes I come up on my caller ID. I've got it set to that hip hop, the hip
Okay.
again, real rapper.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd take their call maybe once every 10 times because it's.
So they call you a lot, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they're always trying to get the old gang back together. Is what they
Yeah,
say. Because
really?
Right.
it's a pun on Sugar Hill Gang. So.
Yeah. Big Bank Hank actually stole all of his lyrics.
No,
I did know that.
actually, Big Bank Hank stole his name from me because my original name was Citibank Hank. And
Citibank Hank,
Yeah.
because you bring
Like,
the money in.
yeah,
Right?
like I was such a gangster that there was an entire movement dedicated to occupying Wall Street just to protest what I was doing.
Even back then?
yeah,
Really?
yes.
Wow.
Who
Yeah.
knew?
I'm surprised because Wall Street was a very popular movie, and
That's
it didn't
right.
let anyone wants to occupy it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the drug dealers were occupying it the whole time, and Charlie Sheen was right there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't get a lot of coverage in the press, the first Occupy.
You were sort of like secretly woven into most of American and world history
Yeah.
without
I'm
us
a tapestry.
really knowing it.
I am part of.
You're like behind the scenes kind of guy.
right. Yeah, it's if you look to any important moment in the past, I'd say 30, 40 years.
What about the Berlin Wall? Do you have anything to do with that?
Oh God, yeah. I remember the song that I recorded that brought it down. It was shortly after that when Nintendo saw the success of Zelda,
Yeah.
and they figured, okay, well, we'd like you to record for another video game. This was before the Super Mario Brother
Yeah.
Super Show fiasco
Yeah.
went down. So I dropped a quick rhyme, and this one took me maybe 4 or 5 months to write. I wanted to make sure to get right, but they filmed this for a commercial, but
Okay.
they only aired it once. So you might not have remembered, but I'll again drop it on you here.
Drop it.
It's a new game called Punch-Out, and it's here to say Mike Tyson's a role model every way. He follows rules, respects women, and if you lend him your ears, I bet I won't regret this song when it's played in 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hindsight.
So
20
wrong you
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
That's
The
amazing.
stutter is actually part of it, too. That's the most important part.
And that is responsible for the Berlin Wall coming
yes,
down?
because within that stutter, that's when they realize punch out, you got to punch out this wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
And that was actually the first draft of Ronald Reagan's speech. Mr. Gorbachev, punch out this wall. And then he ripped off his shirt and he moved up his pecs up and down like Super Macho Man. It was very moving, very, very emotional and inspirational.
The
remember
first
that.
draft
America.
included him ripping his shirt off.
That's
and
right.
moving his
Yeah,
pecs
he
out.
didn't do it. Oh, wow.
Yes, it was
I've
actually
seen
written in
that
the stage
live,
directions.
yeah.
Ronnie, rip your
But
shirt off at
it
this
could
point.
be just that his dementia made him mess up the
Yes,
the
and
line.
we don't want to talk bad about
Of
one
course,
of our
yeah.
nation's true greatest heroes, but
Right.
yeah, it would have been,
That's amazing.
It is. Yeah, we got to wrap it up. So do you have any,
So yeah,
any
what are
more?
you up to now?
Go,
Like,
Calvin.
I'm still in the game, again, I haven't resigned from the rap community at any point. Haven't handed in my letter of resignation. Still dropping,
Give us a few more.
all right,
Yeah, if you want.
well, this one.
Well, what is it? This one responsible for? I like to know the historical context of all these songs.
Well,
since they have
this
so much.
one actually is responsible. It kind of this. I'll drop two on you here real
okay,
fast.
awesome.
The first one
What
is
a treat.
responsible for the Me Too movement.
Okay.
And,
Wow.
yeah.
You were okay.
Yeah,
All right.
unfortunately it did cross the line a little bit, raised a bit too much awareness. I guess
Okay.
is how I want to phrase it.
Okay. All right.
So that's when I don't want to say it, but this song ended up exposing Harvey Weinstein.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
this
go.
one I intended it as a romance, so it starts out like, I've been seeing a new girl and I call her Mist, because after talking for 5 minutes, I'm like, fuck it, I quit. Yo, girl, is your mouth the cake from Portal? Because it's nothing but lies. I call your face Bubble Bobble because it's 80% eyes.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
So you can't objectify a woman like that. I realize that's all about the body.
It's not a joke, but I just
So-
rang the button.
So afterwards, as a way of trying to make amends
Is
to
that
the
our
feminist
airhorn?
community, I then dropped this rhyme on him, and you'll understand this is much more of a feminist-minded
Sure.
okay.
rhyme.
Yeah.
Lara Croft ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
Oh.
Wow.
And I'm an anthropology major trying to get a fix. She spends every day trying to sneak into a tomb, and I'm looking for the cheat code that puts her in my bedroom. In the movie, she was played by Angelina Jolie. I'd like to take her home and see if she would kiss me after I get her consent.
Well,
Wow.
okay. So there you go.
Yeah, so you see,
I like it.
yeah, that's right.
Ba-ba-ba.
Thank you for
More fire, more fire. I love it.
Very
thank you for
nice.
playing the gangster horn. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what it's called, right? The
Yeah.
gangster horn.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know.
It goes
Yeah,
well with
Right.
the lean.
Invented by Warren G. back
Wow.
in the day. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And my relatives actually. Right
I
after
would
the
have to
Ricola
say you're the
commercial.
single most influential musician if you count all this political stuff.
I would say you're 100% correct in that assessment.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I
amazing.
thought it
There's
was-
no
thought
other
it
way
was
to describe it.
Tupac, maybe.
No, is Tupac dead? Can you tell us the
Well,
truth
the
on
thing
that
is,
one?
Tupac, the original title of his album was All Eyes on Him. Him, of course, referring to me.
Oh, okay.
But then
Wow.
after he died, they figured, well, let's throw him a bone here and pretend that he's
So
got
he is
some
dead.
standing in
Okay.
the community.
All right.
Yeah,
He's
Wow.
dead.
yeah.
Okay.
Aw.
It's,
How'd you feel about hologram Tupac?
Gosh, hologram Tupac. I feel the same way I feel about Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. It's just only so much that you can attempt to simulate. I attempt to play hologram Tupac in a virtual reality game, but they won't let him in Assassin's Creed. So
I would love to do a VR
Now,
rap game.
Oh my
That'd
god.
be fun.
Wellington, would you like to play a game with us?
Yeah, let's play a quick.
We'd like to
I
play.
enjoy games. So yes,
enjoy
Let's
games.
play a quick game of Wed, Bed, Dead, everybody.
Oh, Wed, Bed,
yeah.
Dead.
Wed, Bed, Dead, Whoop, 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 whoop. Calvin, come on, where are you?
More fire, more fire. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Booyaka.
Okay, so
Shit.
Wellington, if you don't know how to play the game, it's everybody's favorite game in the podcast. In podcast history, it's the best game show in the world.
Yes.
So here's how it works. It's we give you 3 choices of video game characters. Tell us who you want to wed, who you want to bed, and who you want dead.
All
I will
right.
show you pictures in
Who you want
case.
to bust a cap in, if that helps.
Thank you for attempting to talk my language. Brian.
Totally,
I appreciate
totally.
it. The community appreciates your attempt to cross over.
Anytime, man. So this first one is from the game King of Fighters.
Oh.
Okay. And his name is Rugal, and I'm going to get him for you. It's
Rugal Bernstein.
Rugal Bernstein.
So he's
First, Jewish
he-
fighter. Huh?
Yes.
Look at that mustache.
yeah, he's like a real he's a real pretty boy, this guy.
He is
As a
boss.
fellow barrier breaker, I appreciate.
You appreciate
And
it.
actually, it's funny. He literally one of his powers is to set up barriers. So just
Wow.
throw that in there.
And then bust through it again.
Yeah.
It's again
He's got a
punching
real
out the Berlin Wall.
Miami Vice look.
I understand.
A little bit, yeah. So who does he what's his deal?
He's the boss of I think either 1 or 2 of the King of Fighters series.
Okay.
He's very powerful. He's rich. He owns a Black Panther. And he likes to defeat people and then make them into statues.
Just came out, Black Panther.
Yeah, he seems like sort of like a sort of
Tom Selleck villain.
yeah, like a Tom
Yes.
Selleck.
douchebag. He wears a robe.
Yeah.
He's always wearing a robe until he has to fight. He rips it off. He's jacked underneath, probably. So
Yeah.
that's,
Sometimes he keeps it on.
That
Depending
blonde
on
hair is not working for him either.
he looks like an 80s.
Oh, you're like
you know.
I see where Calvin's going.
All right,
He's
Rugal
also very
Bernstein,
tall.
number
very
1.
tall.
All
If
right.
that's your thing.
The next one is definitely a weird one. It's Rystar.
Oh my God.
Is it Ristar? It's always Rystar, right?
Rystar.
I believe, yes.
So Rystar actually. So
was
Rystar.
that Genesis?
Yeah, it was Genesis. Interesting fact. So Rystar, this is back before Sega had an official mascot. Rystar was possibly going to be a mascot, and he's literally a star with hands and feet.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Did not work.
It's funny story about Rystar, though. It went on to a fine career with the Hardy's organization. So
That's right. Yes. That is him, I believe.
he did land on those feet. Which
He
is,
did.
yeah, it's good
So
that they
he's-
gave him feet to land on.
He's literally just a star, like a smug star with hands and feet
Yes, but he also has attitude.
for Genesis. Yeah, so it was kind of like Sonic.
Attitude.
And then this next one from GTA GT4,
Ah.
I believe. It's the main character, Nico Bellic. So
I wrote all
it's,
the soundtrack for GT4, by
did
the way.
you?
Yes.
Wow.
So it's a cousin, Nico Bellic here.
Ah.
So he's like, he just got out of prison, I believe.
Yeah.
He's from, where is he from?
I forgot.
Where's Nico from? He's from like Slovenia or something like that. I believe.
Also, what accent is
That's-
Slovenia?
Slovenia.
He is a
Bellic
war
is
veteran. He's from Eastern Europe. War
Eastern
veteran.
Europe, same thing.
To live with his cousin, search for the man who
It
betrays
says
the military unit.
he's believed to be Russian, Croatian, or
Serbian.
Serbian.
I was right.
Yeah.
I said Slovenian. So those are your choices. We got Rugal Bernstein, the fighter, Rystar, the failed mascot, or Nico Bellic, the part-time criminal, I guess you can say. So Wellington, who would you like
Yeah,
to
you
go
wanna go
first?
first?
See, I go Nico Bellic, I think would be dead, first of all.
Oh, really? How
But,
come? How come?
Well, Eastern European, so that almost meant that he supported the Berlin Wall,
Okay.
which my song, as you remember,
Right,
was
yeah.
responsible for the destruction
It
of.
was.
So then I would say let's wed Rystar.
Oh.
Just
What-
because, when two stars get together, that's all people talk about. And I want to give
Yeah.
gifts to the people, is what
Sure.
I'm saying. So, my star wed to Rystar,
Okay,
which
awesome.
is going to be my next rhyme, I think.
There you go. I
That's,
love it.
I'll
yeah.
write that down for you.
Actually, it's such a
And,
great reason.
and bed Mr. Bernstein
Mr.
because I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't know about you guys.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your song's actually
It would be
cured
my attempt
anti-Semitism.
to create
Yeah.
peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That if a Dutch fellow like myself could bed a Jewish fellow, then anybody could get together.
Anybody.
Yeah,
I like
because
it.
Dutch
It's
is pretty
beautiful.
close to Arabic, right?
I think so.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Kind of.
Yes.
Amazing. Alp's going to go last because he's been stumped the past few weeks.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I'll go next.
Go for it, yeah.
This is actually very interesting. So I guess to put it in your language, I got to figure out who I'm going to kick it with. So I think I'm going to kick it with.
Yes,
What
you
does kick it
can.
mean?
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
Kick it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah.
Kick it. Yeah.
Or I guess bed or
Right.
kick it.
Right. I had to
okay.
Google that. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna kick it.
Knocking boots also.
Yeah.
I always love the music video for Knockin' Boots where someone literally swings a bat at a wet pair of boots. Have you never seen the music
I've
video?
seen it.
Yeah, I have, but it's been a while.
Oh, fucking
Rock
funny.
Well, if there's one thing we
knocking
rappers are
on
known for,
my
it's our
mouth.
literalism.
Yeah.
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 It was so hilarious.
Mhm.
I probably don't understand that back then when I was 10, but now I just realized that I would.
Not
Funny,
Yeah.
funny thing, Snoop Dogg's lyric "play with my bone" actually means play with a physical bone.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of people think it's dirty, but no.
No, he
he's-
just
yeah.
lost play with the
Everything's
bone.
literal in rap.
Okay.
Hey, that's true.
That's
All right,
true.
Calvin.
All right. So, yeah, I'm gonna kick it with Nico Bellic.
Oh, why?
Gangster. I like a little danger. That's really nice.
You're gonna try and change him?
Well, no, it's one night.
Oh, it's one night. Oh, sorry, it's not the marriage.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's
He,
one
like,
night.
he likes playing darts.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I could use more aim, so that's
Sure.
nice. And I feel like also, it's not like he's a bad person. So I feel like the sex would be like, kind of rough, but also kind of like nice and like nurturing. And I want to help him.
Sure, man.
And
All
I could,
gangsters are known for nurturing sex.
Right. Yeah.
What we do.
Right, Calvin. That's
so that's what Ed Lover always said.
Yeah, it's Straight Outta Compton. You remember was all about nurturing, loving,
Yes,
fidelity. Sex.
definitely.
Yeah. When you think of nurturing sex, Dr. Dre, he's a doctor. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as doctors know, they know you got to be careful when you're getting internal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, you know my second album, right? Straight Outta Sim Compton. So
Nice. It's a build a Compton. Very nice.
thank you for allowing me to segue into that.
I like that. Listen, you're a legend here, so you
Okay.
do you.
Again,
so
yeah.
kicking it with.
Okay, kicking
I
it
will
with
not
Nico Bellic.
dispute.
I'm a wifey Rugal.
I knew that.
Because he's rich. Look at that suit.
True
son.
that. Knew that.
That suit is badass. He can throw fireballs. Again, he's making people into statues.
Statue garden.
Yeah. Do you know how sexy it would be? Yeah, it could be like, yo, like come with me and my husband. Let's check out my statue garden of like,
Really?
People with agonized faces.
I would love that because you'd be like, look, here's my statue of Guile, like just all pissed, just with his like stiff, like it would be so good.
All right.
And and I feel like he also, see him, I would feel like I would kind of change. I'd be
Right.
like, listen, you got to get rid of all the like evil Orochi power and just be a little bit more sensitive.
You're not down with Orochi. I don't even know what Orochi
Why would you
power
want to
is.
wed someone who has roaches, Calvin?
Yeah.
Well, it's more like a snake thing,
Ah.
but whatever. So yeah, no, he's super cool. I'm into him. Oh, also he has a scarf. I get cold, so that's nice. And then I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to kill Rice Star because he's a star, and I don't know where the parts are gonna fit.
Boo.
I would say actually he's not just a star; he is a ghetto superstar.
that is what you are.
Coming from afar.
He literally is, though.
Yeah. Again, wrote that as well.
I love it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually one of the secret member of the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm the
The
37th
13th.
that they don't
Oh,
tell
the
you about.
37th.
Yeah.
Wow. So these three, I would say, are like the three least popular like web ed deads we've had. It seems like. So what I'm gonna do? I mean, it's hard to do anything with Rice Star because his game was alright, but he's never done anything since.
I would say it was fun, although the last level was incredibly hard.
I have no idea. Did he stretch?
Yeah, he could stretch his arms,
Right?
so he could stretch his arms and like headbutt enemies.
Headbutt enemies, yeah.
It was a fun game. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'm going to do. All right? I'm going to dead Rugal.
Why?
Because
he's rich and
hear me-
tall.
I know, but listen. Seems like kind of a douche.
Yeah.
And if I take down the villain, the main guy, people look at me like, yo, that Brian McGinnis is a badass.
But it's a fighting game, so another villain's gonna come in.
Well, yeah, but at least I'll have a couple of years until the next one comes. So I'll be the
Maybe
top
it's like
dog.
Chronicles of Riddick. You become like you take his place after
Never
you kill
saw
him
it,
or
but
something.
maybe.
All right.
Could be. But yeah,
Spoiler alert.
That's what I'm saying. So I think he's dead for me. I may bed Nico here because, again, he came from where? Serbia? Slovenia?
Well, Serbia or Croatia or Russia.
Slobrbia. And he had kind of a rough life. And not that I'm saying I'm amazing, but give him a good night. So we can do whatever he wants and have some fun, I think. And I guess I'll wed Rystar just because, I don't know, it's a fucking weird little star walking around, and it might be interesting. Maybe some fun things will happen. He's not magical, but he's got some type of powers, obviously. So
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes.
He's a star.
He's a
He's a
star
star,
that talks
bro.
and walks. He stretches, headbutts.
But he's gonna get like, are you cool with sleeping with him? Because he gets hot. He's a
He
star.
gets hot. That sucks.
And you don't like heat.
I don't. We'll figure it out. Maybe
Funny
separate.
story. You know who is cool with sleeping with stars?
Who?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Really? Hey.
Speaking of gangsters.
All right.
All right, my turn.
Olive,
Right?
You got
Okay.
it? Finally?
I got it.
You have
Okay.
a lot of time to think.
All right, bring the pain.
I appreciate you using all our terminology, Calvin.
I am going
I
to.
got it.
This is a tough one.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm going to bed the star as well
You're gonna bed the star
because he's a star that's
I
been
wed
animated
him.
by the goddess, and so he probably has some sort of like
Oh, you looked it
cool
up?
immortal. Yeah, I look him up because I want
Okay.
to know more about the star.
Yeah.
And
But you're
it's
not worried
and
about where is the parts gonna go?
we'll figure it out. We'll just wrap his star tentacles around me or something. I don't know.
Like-
We'll do something. He has an extendable arm. We could do something with that.
They'll figure it out, Calvin.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned.
You're always so worried
Why are you
about
so
that.
concerned about what goes on in my bed? So I'm gonna probably kill Nico because he's a low-level criminal.
He is.
He doesn't have a lot to offer. He's an immigrant. You know how I feel about immigrants. You can't have two immigrants in a. I'm already an immigrant myself.
Hey
I don't
DJ,
need
can
to
you
be
write a
both.
rap to cure Alabama's immigration problems?
And Calvin had the right idea. I'm going to marry Rugal or whatever, because I'll be husband, wifey, whatever to a powerful man. Statue Garden. I'll dress nice.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
Well, shit,
I'll
if that's
definitely
the
dress
case-
nice because he's the way he dresses. So I'll be shopping at the same places as him.
it's true.
If that's
So.
the case, marry me.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are
hey.
very well
There
dressed.
you go.
Powerful man with a statue garden. That's what it's all
Yeah,
about.
that's you're just missing
It's
a
a life,
statue garden.
baby.
Yeah.
That's
feel
the
like-
gangsta life.
I feel like Nico's going to end up dying anyway, so if you dead him, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
like he's a
he's-
criminal.
yeah,
he's, gonna,
he's
he's,
a-
he's always in
he's a-
fire fights, gunfights and everything. So
Wellington, any new projects that you want to plug or any new
last minute
songs
or
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 problems?
any new names?
Well,
Last minute
I'll be
rhymes.
performing the Super Bowl halftime show tomorrow. Actually.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
was-
It's they've Justin Timberlake
Like a
canceled
special
the last
guest kind of
minute.
thing,
They figured they wanted somebody more popular, and they was like, "Hey,
the Super Bowl was actually a few weeks ago. So did you not get that notification?
So listeners, make sure you have
well,
DVR'd
not
it.
the football Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. What are you?
Oh,
What are you talking
The Super Tecmo Bowl Super Bowl.
Ah,
halftime
nice.
is where I'm at.
yeah, that's
Late-
traditionally a
the
few
late
weeks
February
after. Yes.
Tecmo
That's
Bowl.
right.
Got
That's
you.
right. It's me
like
and
a
Bo
epiphany.
Jackson.
Gives players time to digitize themselves.
Very
play
good.
it.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
That should be a thing.
Myself
That's-
and hologram Tupac.
What are you
actually.
performing? I heard that Hologram Tupac's actually a ghost. We had Igor the Candlemaster here
Oh,
a couple weeks ago.
God,
Sure.
he just talk.
Yeah, yeah.
talk.
Oh, you
all
know
the
him.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
He spills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Everything.
Yeah, we'll have everyone tune in. And are you going to solve any more problems with that song, you think?
There-
Gosh.
We have a lot right now. So.
Yeah.
Can you solve the Trump thing for us?
If he is not impeached by minute 6 of my halftime performance,
Holy cow.
then I'm just going to drop the mic and leave the
It's
stage.
powerful.
You heard it here, guys.
It's that powerful.
When this, about maybe 4 weeks from when this podcast comes out, Trump should be
4 weeks from when it comes out?
where, yeah.
What does that mean?
That's when the Tecmo Super Bowl is, right? It's 4 weeks from the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if you're listening to it.
Sure.
No, it's this week.
No, the Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's this week, he said.
Oh, it's this week.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, okay.
No, I'm running a fever.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
This
so
has
much for
been-
your
this has been
contributions.
amazing.
DJ
Yeah.
Player 1.
Seriously.
DJ Playa,
Nasty
yeah.
Nestor.
Yeah. So, you want to
City Bank Hank.
do you want to kick us off with sign us off with one of your
A
dope
quick
ass
rhyme, if
rhymes?
you would.
One more time.
One
Yeah.
more time.
Kick
All
it.
right.
Kick it.
Took a girl for my ride in my Mario Kart. Thought I could get her clothes off by hitting up, down, left, right, be a start. Tried to get to second like I was MLB The Show till she looked at my Jimmy, thought it was shrunk by a thunderbolt.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Playable Characters Podcast. See you next week.
More fire.
Check out Ken Schultz on Twitter at Ken Schultz _. That's Ken Schultz _ And he writes baseball analysis
He writes
stuff.
for Baseball Prospectus Wrigleyville.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.